Hi everyone. On today's episode of Internet Support with the Ezekiel Project, we're going to be talking about Google. We're going to be talking about Google Forms. So this is a form that I created to sign up for one of the programs that the Ezekiel Project is working on, called the Coronavirus Response Reading Program. What that is a different video, but essentially it's a book delivery service for students and families who are home from school during this time, and so each child gets 2 or 3 books during this time of social distancing and staying at home. So, excuse me, I'm feeling a little bit stuffy this morning that I'm recording. But anyway, so the reason why I chose this form to talk about is because it's a pretty straightforward form, but it's also kind of complex and it utilizes a lot of elements of Google Forms that a lot of people may not be familiar with. So to begin, so this is the form that parents fill out to request books for their children. So this is the first section that shows up when you reach this form. So I have it so that the very first thing is that I need to collect email addresses. We'll talk more about where all this data goes and after we go through this. But so the very first thing is enter your email address. After that is how many children in grades pre-K to 5 would you like to request books for? This question is important because it changes how the rest of the Google form goes for each person who fills out the form. So I have this form set up so that if you select that you only have one child, then you go on to fill out the form for one child, and so on and so forth for the rest of them. So how that looks is this. If I click on this box, I'm able to click on the drop down for multiple choice, and here I get to choose what happens if the person selects each answer choice. So for example, for question number, if a person selects that they only have one child, you go on to section 2, which is requesting books for one child. If the person has 2 children, it goes on to section 3, so meaning it skips section 2 entirely, and section 3 is requesting books for 2 children. And finally, if this parent selects that they have 3 children, then we go to section 4, skipping sections 2 and 3 because those are for, children or families with children of 1 to 2 child. So let's say, you have this person has one child, and so then they go here to this section, which is requesting books for one child. So the next questions in this page are, what is your child reading level, and what are some things your child likes to read about? Great. After this, as you can see right here, I have it set up so that you go on not to the next section, but rather you submit the form. Sorry about that. Instead of going to fill out the form for 2 children, 3 children, you go to section 5, which is information on book delivery, which we'll talk about in a moment. Same thing. So if the person selects that they have 2 children, they skip this and they go directly to requesting books for 2 children. And the questions are the same as they were the first, only this time child 1 questions and child 2 questions. And after that, after they finish this person will also go to section 5 for information on book delivery. Finally, same thing, if a parent selects that they have 3 children who are eligible for the program, they immediately go to this section, which is requesting books for 3 children, skipping sections 2 and 3. Once again, the questions are the exact same. Child 1 questions, child 2 questions, child 3 questions. After that, they go to section 5, which is the section immediately after this, for information on book delivery. And so here we have come to section 5 out of 5, which is information for book delivery. And here I ask for the name of the student, the street address, the parent phone number. For internal information, I asked what school does your child or children go to, as well as how did you hear about the program. We can talk more about, deciding what format of a Google form question is the best for whatever you're trying to ask in the future if you're interested in learning about something like that. But after they have reached this point, they're free to submit the form. So where does all this information go? As you fill out the form, responses will automatically be updated and put into the responses tab, which is right next to the questions tab. At this time, we're not accepting responses. This was the first iteration of this program. We currently just finished the second. So all of these requests have been fulfilled. But anyway, this is what it looks like. You can see all the emails of everyone who has responded. You also get these really interactive graphs. So how many children? Most people, as you can see, request for only one child. We're pretty across the board when it comes to reading level. These are the types of things that children like to read about, etc., etc., etc. So you can also see the responses on a question level. So if you're interested in, seeing information this way, that's also an option. And also you can see individual level information, so like how each person filled out this form. Over here you can see you have an option here that links this document to Sheets. So I have already created, this is what the raw data looks like when you first send it into Google Sheets. And then after that, all of these tabs are tabs that I've created using this data from the do not edit, like master export sheet from this. And that's pretty easy to set up. You just click on these three bars here. Well, there should be a thing here that says link form to Google Sheets. Currently it is linked to the one that I just showed you, and all of the responses will automatically be submitted to the first raw data sheet here. If you're interested, I can also make a video talking about how I organize this data to make it usable and not so overwhelming. So let me know in the comments down below if you're interested in seeing that. But beyond that, that is all I have for you today. I hope going through this Google form was helpful, and I hope that you utilize Google Forms in your organization. It's an excellent tool and definitely something that makes communicating within the organization and with the community a lot easier. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.